From the very moment he entered the picture, Gabe Solis, Tuna Braxton's ex-husband, was pure drama with a capital D. Their marriage went far beyond the typical disagreements. This man was caught up in cheating scandals, texting and flirting with random women, and sneaking around like a teenager hiding behind a burner phone. One night, she had an instinct that something was off. She felt that I was up to no good, so she asked to see my phone, and in the blink of an eye, she snatched it, right out of my hands. At that point, I was like, no. Then, I started to think, wait a minute, I'm not the one checking your phone. But was there something on there you didn't want her to see? Yes, there were messages between me and other women. Gabe wasn't just causing trouble for Trina. He was making a fool of the whole family. Let's be real, the Braxtons were never afraid to call out the drama. Tamar, in particular, was always the first to say, "Girl, stop." What most people didn't know, because we never aired it for the show, was that Gabe and I had a lot more going on behind the scenes. No relationship is perfect, and ours was far from it. So we kept talking and praying, just seeing where things would go. But one thing was certain, the Gabe saga gave viewers everything they wanted. Betrayal, heartbreak, shocking scandals, and the question everyone was asking, why is Trina still with him? They eventually divorced, but not before Gabe turned. The whole family's life upside down. I honestly don't know why they keep bringing up Gabe. Maybe it's just another storyline for the show, but whatever it is, it's not making him look any better. And trust, we're going to address all of it. As most of you know, Gabe and Trina got married in 2003 and divorced in 2015. Their on-again, off-again relationship was a key part of Braxton family values. Their marital issues gave the show plenty of material, with both of them admitting to cheating at different points in their relationship. But in the end, they just couldn't keep it going. Trina initially filed for divorce in 2014, but she gave it another shot, hoping for change. When their attempt at reconciliation didn't work out, Trina eventually filed for divorce once more. Sadly, Gabe passed away after his battle with cancer. Trina later confirmed the heartbreaking news. On December 20th, 2018, Trina shared the heartbreaking news, writing, "A chapter permanently closed for my sons and I. For over 16 years, Gabe Solis was an essential part of our lives." She went on to say, "Like all families, there are good and bad moments that we endure. But those moments, good or bad, have shaped us into who we are today." Unfortunately, the news was leaked before Trina could personally inform everyone about Gabe's passing, and she expressed her apologies to those friends and family who found out through social media. She also took the time to apologize directly to the Solis family, requesting prayers for both families during such a difficult time. Trina's biggest plea was for respect and privacy during their mourning, stating, "Gab's passing is a loss for our family. He was a father to my boys, a son, a brother, and a friend to many. I ask that, as you post comments, you remember this, and please allow us the space to grieve his unexpected departure. Gabe Chutz Sololis 1234. I miss you, my dear friend." But as I mentioned earlier, their marriage was far from perfect. Trina admitted to cheating on Gabe with one of her bandmates, even revealing that she had a physical encounter where she performed oral sex on her lover. Trina expressed genuine remorse for her actions, and it seemed like she finally acknowledged the toll her decisions had taken on her marriage with Gabe. She openly confessed to her infidelity to him, which was undoubtedly a tough moment in their relationship. Gabe, to his credit, didn't shy away from the harsh reality of their broken trust. He admitted without hesitation that he, too, had cheated on Trina throughout their marriage. This moment of raw honesty was one that neither party could escape from, but it wasn't exactly a surprise. The truth was, Gabe's infidelity was an ongoing theme throughout their relationship, and it wasn't like this was the first time they had faced such issues. Gabe had been caught cheating multiple times, but somehow he always seemed to slip back into Trina's life. This pattern of betrayal had become a vicious cycle that both of them had been trying to navigate. And every time a new scandal surfaced, the family and viewers alike were left questioning how much more the couple could endure. One of the most notable scandals occurred when photos of Gabe surfaced, showing him engaging in explicit online conversations. with a transgender woman named Julissa Abashian. The images were disturbing and they sparked immediate public outrage. The real shock came, however, when Julissa herself came forward with even more incriminating evidence. She claimed to have footage of Gabe involved in explicit acts, and to make matters worse, she didn't hesitate to post the videos for the world to see. It was as if the scandal was on full display, and there was no hiding from the mess Gabe had created. This was a pivotal moment in the couple's story, one that exposed just how deep the wounds were in their relationship. Not only had Gabe been caught in this compromising situation, but it was clear that he had failed to honor the commitment he had made to Tina. The photos and videos weren't just proof of an affair. They were a painful reminder of how far Gabe had gone to betray his wife's trust. And in that moment, it seemed like Tina was stuck in a dilemma that, how do you continue to love and trust someone who has shown you nothing but deceit? Tina, to her credit, didn't let the scandal slide quietly. She wasn't just a passive participant in her own heartbreak. She had to confront the reality of her marriage and make decisions that would affect her and her family forever. Yet, despite everything, it was evident that Tina still cared deeply for Gabe, and that love kept her coming back time after time. Even as Gabe's secrets piled up, Tina found herself constantly defending him. It was almost as if she couldn't break free from the emotional ties that bound her to him, even though he had hurt her so many times before. But then came the backlash from the public. The photos and videos weren't just damaging to Gabe's reputation. They were a harsh wake-up call for Tina and anyone who had been keeping track of their tumultuous relationship. For many, it was difficult to understand why Tina would continue to support a man who had humiliated her publicly over and over again. It was a question that didn't have an easy answer. Why did she keep defending him? Was it out of love? Was it out of hope that things could change? Or was it simply because she couldn't let go of the history they had shared? The situation became even more complicated when Gabe, in an attempt to clear his name, denied ever having met Julissa in person. According to Gabe, he had no idea who this woman was. He claimed that he had to download the app she was on just to figure out who she was, and upon doing so, he discovered a pending friend request from her. This claim raised more questions than it answered, leaving the public to wonder if he was simply trying to distance himself from the situation or if he was genuinely caught off guard. But regardless of his explanations, it was clear that Gabe had put himself in a situation where he was either lying or completely failing to take responsibility for his actions. In his public apology, Gabe didn't mince words. He admitted that he had made many mistakes and hurt people, and he expressed remorse for his behavior. He apologized to Tina, acknowledging that she didn't deserve any of the hurt he had caused her. But despite his apology, the damage had already been done. It wasn't just a simple affair that could be swept under the rug. Gabe had allowed multiple scandals to pile up, and it became increasingly difficult for Tina, or anyone else, to believe in his sincerity. Yet, despite all of this, there was still a part of Tina that seemed to want to make things work. She would publicly defend Gabe, saying that their relationship wasn't perfect, but that they were trying to figure things out. It was almost as if she was holding on to something that no longer existed, a future with someone who had already shown time and time again that he wasn't worthy of her trust. People couldn't help but wonder why she kept giving him second chances. Some speculated that it was because of their deep emotional connection. Others suggested that Tina might have been in denial about the extent of Gabe's betrayal, unable to face the harsh truth that her marriage was beyond repair. No matter the reason, it was clear that Tina was conflicted. Her heart and mind were at war, and she was stuck between her love for Gabe and the reality of his actions. Ultimately, the public spectacle surrounding Gabe's infidelity was a devastating chapter for both Tina and their family. It was a tale of betrayal, heartache, and forgiveness, but it was also a story of how difficult it can be to let go of someone you once loved. The photos, videos, and countless rumors weren't just a testament to Gabe's infidelity. They were a painful reminder of how toxic and complicated relationships can become when trust is repeatedly broken. Despite the scandal, the question remained: could Tina ever truly walk away from Gabe, or would she continue to find herself trapped in a cycle of hurt and reconciliation? I could be more detailed than that, but, YouTube's rules and all. Anyway, Julissa uploaded a video of Gabe lounging in his marital bed while discussing his wife's personal matters with a stranger on Skype. In the nearly 3-minute video, Julissa even told Gabe how attractive he was before he started making disturbing remarks about Tina. He insulted her, calling her a drunkard, and then accused her of cheating, all while claiming that he had never felt emotions for any woman outside his marriage. This was despite Tina repeatedly stating that Gabe had cheated on her for 5 of the 7 years they were married. In response to the scandal, Gabe denied ever meeting Julissa, stating that he had to download the app she claimed they met on just to figure out who she was. He admitted to finding a pending request from her on the app, which meant he had used the site at some point, but he insisted that he had never interacted with her. Gabe also issued a statement saying, "First off, I want to apologize from the bottom of my heart to my wife Tina, who deserves none of this. I have done many things that I am not proud of, and I'm sure they will come to light in the coming weeks, whether it's on the show, on blogs, in the newspapers, or any other way it can be revealed. I cannot undo the past. However, I am not into anything they are claiming. I am very heterosexual, and I have no idea who this lady, dude, or woman is, and I've never spoken to her, him, or whatever they are saying." Gabe continued, "Yes, I know I will be the target of many gossip bloggers because of my past. I have never engaged in same-sex affairs or any physical affairs with anyone. I know cheating is cheating, and I'm not making excuses. I'm currently in therapy because I have an addiction problem, and I genuinely want the help it will take to restore my family." He pleaded, "Please, bloggers, do not spread lies. I have made my bed, and now I lie in it alone every day." But honestly, it really did seem like Gabe was lying, considering the receipts were pretty damning. This wasn't some isolated incident either. Gabe had been caught up in similar scandals more than once. Tina even confessed to catching Gabe, red-handed, acting inappropriately on a social networking site with a woman he knew. "I caught Gabe red-handed acting inappropriately on a social networking site with a woman he knew. There's no denying it, not in God's heaven," Tina said, adding, "But then again, I've always kind of defended Gabe, even though he embarrassed the hell out of me and my entire family." Tina revealed that during their tumultuous marriage, they had actually been separated for about a year before the scandal hit. She shared this during an interview with Tamar and Karen Civil, where they discussed infidelity, gossip blogs, and the contrast between negativity and positivity. Tina clarified that she didn't put this information out for the show, but she and Gabe had been legally separated. In that case, Gabe had every right to do as he pleased, with whoever he wanted. Tina went on to explain that despite all the turmoil, they had still been talking and praying about different things. "We didn't know where we stood, and we knew that nobody's relationship is perfect," she said. "We don't know where we are or where we're going," Tina admitted. "Nobody's relationship is perfect, and ours is definitely not. So we're just talking and praying about it, and we'll see what happens next." Child, the look on Tamar's face when Tina said that? Baby, that look told us everything we needed to know about how the family really felt about all the drama. Let's just say, nobody was buying what Tina was selling. Sure, she told Karen Civil that she and Gabe were legally separated and that he was free to do whatever and whoever he wanted, but the receipts just weren't adding up for the fans. Why? Because every time Gabe's name came up, Tina looked like she was ready to go to war for him. Even when he was out here embarrassing her with scandal after scandal, she kept defending him like her life depended on it. It wasn't like he just messed up once, owned it, and promised to do everything to make things right. No, every time she stood by Gabe, it gave the impression that Tina was still holding on tight, separation or not. So when she suddenly claimed that they were talking, praying, and didn't know where they stood, people started side-eyeing the whole thing. To many, it felt more like damage control than the full truth. Let's be real, though. It always seemed like Tina was fighting for a man who wasn't fighting for her. And when she finally opened up about their status, people couldn't help but wonder, "Sis, are you being honest? Or are you just trying to clean up the mess for the cameras?" Unsurprisingly, Tina continued to face a lot of backlash. Many people felt that she knew exactly what kind of man Gabe was, and yet he'd cheated on her for most of their relationship. Yet, Tina still defended him. People claimed she loved, turning a blind eye to what he was doing, even though there were rumors about him hooking up with women, men, and trans women, allegedly. There were even whispers about his supposed interest in bestiality, allegedly, and a strange obsession with underage girls, allegedly. And let's not forget, this is the same person who was exposed by the Braxton family's niece, Ashley, who revealed that her stepmother and father had seen inappropriate text messages between herself and her aunt's partner. When they first told her aunt, she was loving and upset about what happened to Ashley. But as time passed, it seemed like her aunt's feelings shifted. Ashley said that as she grew older, she realized just how strange it was that her aunt was okay with her partner, given the circumstances. Apparently, her aunt started to believe that Ashley had somehow instigated the situation or was even partly to blame, and began shifting the blame onto her. Ashley revealed that through therapy, she learned how to cope with everything, but she made it clear that she shouldn't have been blamed for something that never should have happened in the first place. She also hinted that the uncle involved had a platform and chose not to speak on it. And after the incident, everyone was still breaking bread with this man as if nothing had happened. Now, I want to share a story today. It's about how one of my aunts in my family stopped talking to me because they believed that, at the age of 16, I did something with her partner at the time. I've been a nervous wreck to talk about this, for 2 reasons. 1, because of my family, and 2, because I don't want to hurt anyone by telling my side. But let me tell you, there were already suspicions that Ashley was talking about Gabe. She even hinted at it herself when someone on TikTok suggested she was talking about Gabe and Trina, and she liked the comment. Eventually, it became clear that Ashley was indeed referring to Gabe. And when the producers of the show wanted Trina to sit down and film a scene with Ashley to discuss the accusations, Trina threatened to stop filming completely. She said, "It's not my story to tell or talk about." But Tamar, she was more than happy to bring Ashley onto the show. Reportedly, this caused a lot of tension on set because Trina didn't want Gabe to be brought up, but Tamar was ready to reveal how Gabe had made their lives miserable. Child, I don't know if they've run out of storylines if they're bringing up dead people like this, but insiders are saying that there might be even more coming out about Gabe. Personally, I'm just here for the tea. But what do you think about Trina and Gabe's marriage? Should they be bringing him up again? Let me know in the comments.